What's up, guys? It's Jeff. Welcome back to the channel. I guess it's official. I'm pretty much hooked on doing this. I did the first video last week and was fully expecting to get like sub 5 views. You know, one of which being me, the other being my wife, and then maybe like 3 random people that like happened to find it on YouTube. Over 1,000 people have watched it so far. Like, whoa, that is awesome. Like, you guys are really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope everyone had a happy new year. The casino here opens up in 11 days. So yeah, we're just getting ready. Been studying a little bit, been reading through this book. I recommend it if you haven't checked it out. It's pretty new, learning some good stuff. But anyway, let's just dive right into the action. We are sitting in the cutoff when we look down at King Queen offsuit. And there is a middle position straddle for $15. So in this game, they let you straddle from anywhere, which is kind of interesting. The straddler here is a pretty loose, aggressive player that likes to give action. So when it folds around to me, I bump it up to $40. Looking back, I definitely could and should have made this a bit higher, 45 or even 50, just because this guy has such a tendency to call and he's never really folding to $40 here. But anyway, big blind calls $40 and the straddler completes to $40. So I've got $120 as we head into the flop. And the flop comes King 6-3 with 2 hearts. So we've got top pair. We look like we're in great shape. I couldn't be happier. Checks to me and I bet $70 into 120. So not quite 2/3 of the pot. I'm happy to take it down here if I can, or at least keep the betting lead in a multi-way pot. But nonetheless, that plan completely fails when the big blind folds and the straddler snap check raises me to $200, and he's only got about another 245 behind. So now I've got a decision to make here. With a pretty laggy straddler completing pre in a multi-way pot, I can't quite put him on like a premium king like ace king or really even king queen, and this is kind of an odd play to make with king jack or king 10 or anything like that. And I kind of realized after I have a small sample size on this guy, I've only played a couple hands with him, but of anyone at this table, he is definitely the most capable of semi-bluffing here with a flush draw or a straight draw. So when I think about it, like these combos far outweigh the number of combos of 6-6 or 3-3 that he may have, which have me dominated. So because of that, I decided to just jam on him. I don't think flatting is really an option, because if I flat here, we would have a little over like $500 in the pot heading into the turn, and he would only have less than a half size bet behind. So I decided to just get it in while I can, thinking that I'm probably ahead of most of the hands that he's doing this check raise with. But when he snap calls me instantly, I don't feel great about that. But then he says, oh, your king is good. And he flips over 4-5 offsuit with no hearts. And of course, the turn comes the 7 of hearts, and he hits his straight draw. And yeah, he takes down a $930 pot. But at least we got it in ahead here. I just didn't see a lot of, other than those 2 sets, I just didn't see any hands that he was doing that with that beat me in comparison to the number of hands he does that with that I am ahead of. So I don't feel terrible about it, but I do think, like I said, looking back, I definitely could have made my preflop raise a little bit higher. I don't know if it would have actually made a difference. I think he's probably still calling 45 or 50 bucks pre, but anyway, that's what happened. All right, we finally pick up 2 beautiful red aces, which I have not seen in a long time, it feels like. We got an early position limper, and I bump it up to $20, and I get 4 callers. I feel like I'm playing pretty tight, but clearly nobody respects my raises, which is fine. We headed to the flop with 100 bucks in the pot, and the flop comes Queen 9-9 rainbow. When it checks to me, I think there's a lot of merit to betting here. It's, usually betting or checking is fine. This time I decided to check, and it actually checks all the way around, which is kind of a bummer. But the turn comes the ace of clubs. So now we've got the nut boat. We're in great shape here. It checks to me again, and I also decide to check again, just hoping that somebody is starting to catch up at this point. Even though I have the nut boat, I want someone to catch up. And so it checks to the button, who then bets $25 into 100, and I just decide to call. I don't want to do a check raise here and totally scare him away. The river comes the Jack of Hearts, so a couple of draws have completed. Well, really, I guess just the straight draw gets there, plus a bunch of 2-pair combos and even some boat combos with the 9. So Queen 9, Jack 9, maybe Ace 9, who knows. A lot of stuff gets there. And I decided to experiment with kind of an unorthodox play that I don't do very often at all, especially when it's kind of checked around like this, is I overbet for 225 into 150. And part of the reason why I did this is there are, a decent handful of kind of nut-ish type hands that can call with a 9. And also the guy who's on the button, I've seen him make quite a few pretty sticky calls over the last few sessions I've played. I've seen him around, and he doesn't really like to fold. So I take a gamble. I bet 225 into 150, not really expecting a call, but kind of hoping for one. And he tanks and tanks and tanks, and then he finally says, "Nice bet," and throws in his cards, and he shows Ace King. So I guess this wasn't the right time to try and overbet to get a call from just top pair, but I really didn't think he had an ace. Maybe if I do a value bet here on the lower side, maybe he calls. Not really sure, but it's fun to experiment with different plays, and maybe next time we will get a call. All right, next we have pocket queens in the small blind. There's one limper, and then somebody in I think it was the cutoff, he makes it $20. And the button folds, but when I see the button fold, he's sitting to my right, and I see him fold Queen Jack. So he's got one of my outs, and I've got 2 queens. So I was kind of in a weird spot, because I wanted to 3-bet, but then I was sort of letting this exposed queen get in my head a little bit. And I was the only one that actually saw the queen, so no one else knew that there was a queen exposed. Anyway, I can't just flat here. I decided to just do my standard raise to $70, a little bit more than 3x just because I'm out of position. And the limper folds, and the $20 raiser, he flats the $70. So we go to a flop, and flop comes Queen 8-2 with 2 hearts. So I flop top set. I know that this guy can't have a queen because the other queen is in the muck. But I'm not really sure what to do in this spot, and especially in real time, as it's kind of like an odd situation. I'm trying to put it together in my head quickly, but when you're playing poker, you've only got, 5 or 10, 15 seconds to make up a decision. And this isn't like a huge decision. It's just, whether I see bet or not and how much I see bet. So even though I flop top set, I don't really want to give him a free card here, especially because I'm playing out of position. So I decided to just bet small for $55, hoping to just take it down here. Not really sure if that's the best way to play it. But the villain did end up folding, and he folded Ace King of clubs face up. So I was ahead the whole time, which obviously I knew, flopping top set. But it was nice to just get him out of the hand and just kind of get that pot over with, because it was definitely a situation I wasn't fully comfortable in. Okay, this next hand is pretty funny. This is a double board PLO bomb pot. Everyone puts in $10 pre-flop. They do this every dealer change, every 30 minutes at this place, so it's kind of interesting. I've never played PLO in my life. I don't even know how it works. I'm level 0 Omaha player, completely clueless. But I've kind of started watching people play them and kind of sort of to get an idea of how they work. But anyway, we get dealt this random junk hand of 6, 7, 4, 9, just a hodgepodge of cards here, basically nothing. But we see a flop just like everybody else, and flop comes 5, Jack 3 on the top, and then 4, 2, 10 on the bottom. Bunch of flush draws out there, and we have the open ender on the top, basically nothing on the bottom, and it actually checks completely around, which almost never happens at this place. Someone's always betting. So honestly, I didn't even really I wasn't really paying attention until once I saw the flop, I was kind of zoned out. But then the turn comes, and I'm able to see a turn, and I hit the nuts on the turn. I have a straight on the turn on the top board, and still nothing on the bottom board except for a pair of 4s, which is not good. There's one guy bets $20 into, I think it was 90, because we were all in there for 10. So I call $20 with the nuts, basically because I have no way to improve on the bottom. And on the top board, there's still a flush draw out there, and any paired board could spell disaster for me. So I'm happy to just call and see what happens. And there are two more callers behind me. So we go four ways to a river, and the river is a complete brick. It's a queen on top and two of diamonds on the bottom. So I know I've got the nuts on the top, and the bottom is also a pretty juicy board. There is a flush out there, and there's a paired board, so a boat could definitely be possible there, especially with four players. So it checks to me, and I decided to bet $100 into, I think it was 180. So 100 into 180, I'm hoping to get more than one caller here, because obviously I know at best case scenario, I can only chop this pot. I'm hoping for multiple callers to hopefully one guy has a flush on the bottom and another guy has a boat or something like that. I get one caller for the $100. The next two guys just quickly fold, and then the caller, he flips over Jack, Queen, Ace, 7. So he had two pair on the top board, which I'm dominating, and he had nothing on the bottom board. But my little 4 of diamonds on the bottom board is actually good. So I scoop a $380 bomb pot with a little baby straight on the top and a pair on the bottom. So definitely was not expecting that. I thought I was for sure chopping when I only got one caller, but really happy to take down this pot. Definitely helped out. So I ended the session down $175, which isn't too bad considering the first hand was a total disaster of, $930 pot not going my way. If you like this video, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you hate how I played any of the hands, please comment and let me know, because like I said before, I'm trying to learn. I'm definitely going to post a lot of bad plays on this channel, so yeah, try to help me learn. Anyway, see you guys on the next one. Peace.